Okay, I did not think about it like that. It's not like I'm just thinking it.
Yeah, okay. We know who's dehydrated.
Hey,
Right.
I honestly was not thinking to it. When I meant enter inside me, I meant you want to enter inside my skin. That's what I mean.
We're gonna believe her.
No, but I promise. I honestly promise that's what I was saying.
Let started.
That one not start.
Yep.
I thought we were taking picture first.
Yeah, I told you to take pictures.
Can you take picture? Can we wear glasses for the picture at least? Even if you cannot do video, please. Can I wear back?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, what are you doing? Stop this video and press that subscribe button. Alright guys, so today I have somebody on the channel with me, and I'm just gonna let her introduce herself. I am what's my name again? I am Oteni. I go by the name Oteni Designs. That's what I always want to be called sometimes. And my trademark is 8 time. Alright, Oteni Design. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do and what Oteni Design is all about? I'll be so glad to tell you that. You know that. Oteni Design. Okay, before I say that, people call me village girl, African girl, you know, all of that, and I'm really proud of it. Bush girl. Yes, bush girl. That's another name. Because I just want to put a touch of African print on anything I can lay my hands on, because I think it's really beautiful. I love it. You know, I design clothes with African print on it. And if you want to see those, you just look me up on Oteni Designs on Twitter and Instagram. Alright guys, so I'm gonna make sure to leave her information down in the description box below. Stop by her page and show her some love. Alright guys, so in this video I wanted to actually talk to you guys about a serious topic that's been really bugging me. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about rape in general. I wanted to talk about how it's kind of seen within the African community. We tend to see a lot of cases with rape happening or people being molested by uncles. 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 But it's something that we never really talk about or we never bring out to the table, and it's seen as taboo. Like, Onos, do you have any thoughts when we're talking about this, or anything you want to say starting this conversation? There's a lot to talk about with this topic. A lot. The first thing is I feel like a lot of African parents just let anybody come into their house, and that's honestly not okay. You need to know who you bring around your children, not just with the issue of rape or anything. Character. People that live around you, the people you spend time with, influence you. And that's one thing I don't think African parents take into consideration. It's just the African culture to help people around you. It's normal. But I honestly feel like if you're allowing someone come into your house, pray about if the person should be there. You just should not. You can find other ways to help them, you know, not just letting them come into your house. Yeah, honestly, I just honestly wanted to like bring light onto this topic because a few months ago, like back in the summer, it was just something that's been really bugging me. Speaking with a lot of women within our community were sharing with me personal stories of how they've been either like molested or raped, but never actually came out or talked to their parents about it or told anyone around them. Why? Because it's almost seen as taboo, just like I said. And for some reason why within the African community they never really want to talk about it, because they always think of the girl's future, and by future I mean when she gets married. We don't want to tell her future husband, oh yeah, she's been touched by another man, like as if it's her fault, you know, as if it's shameful. But that's something that's out of your control. You can't control what happens to you, you know. You really can. Yes. You know, the African society
if we date it back to the days where your bride price really mattered, if you were virgin or not, they send you back to your husband's house and all of that. And I feel like that's where most African people pick up that culture from.
Right.
It's really not a bad thing, but I just feel like the manner of approach is how it's seen, how it's done is really wrong. I think it is. And a lot of moms are sometimes not approachable. With stuff like this, I feel like it's a really sensitive topic that you wouldn't want to talk to an African mom about, because the whole family starts to treat you fragile
and pity you,
and you just feel like a sense of you is lost, and
you're so broken.
Yes. And you never know. Some people would actually think it's your fault. It's your fault you got raped, which is never true. That's never true. Never let anybody tell you that it's your fault that you were molested. You know.
And for those of you who don't know, within the African culture, and I think with a lot of third world countries, when a woman is about to get married, usually the men would come to your father's house and kind of ask for your hand in marriage, but the family would ask for something called a dowry. And what a dowry is, it's almost like it's like a prize tag. Yeah, basically it's like a bride price. So your price kind of goes higher if like you're a virgin,
you're educated,
if you can cook, if you can clean, you know, all these things, which I've honestly come to really dislike that part. But that's what it is for those of you who do not know what a dowry is. And one thing I also want to touch on is the fact that I feel like within our community we always teach our women like what to do, almost to protect yourself, but we never really teach our boys how to become men. We never teach our boys how to properly treat a woman. We always give them the excuse of, oh yeah, he's just a boy, boys will be boys. But as a girl, we always tell her, oh, make sure you can't wear super short shorts because a man is gonna look at you in a lustful way. Which is true, but just because you look at me in a lustful way doesn't give you the right to like forcefully abuse me, to forcefully put yourself on me, you know. That's something we never really talk about. And like, what would you want to say about that?
I want to talk about the topic of being an African daughter. I feel like the whole of your life, everything you do, like they just have you and raise you to become a wife.
Yes,
that's basically
someone's wife.
90% of everything they prepare you to become a wife, a mother, but they never prepare you to be an individual. And if you cannot be your own self, if you cannot live with yourself, I think it's gonna be hard to live with someone else. I don't think they put that into consideration, and they raise you physically, sometimes never considering your emotional growth
and your mental
growth. You know, it's just about how you look, if you're respectful, your character. It's good, but I feel like other aspects should be added to this.
It's almost like, as bad as it sounds, it's almost like that's the only thing you're good for as a woman. We are making you to become a wife, and when I become a wife, you're gonna become someone's mother. You know, just like you said, at a really young age, they start to train you how to cook in the house, how to clean in the house, how a woman is supposed to dress, how a woman is even supposed to sit. You know, I kind of remember sitting certain ways in my own house, and my mother would come and slap me on my leg and tell me, don't sit like that, that's not how a lady sits. And it's so annoying, and I'll kind of just be like, yo mom, leave me alone, I'm chilling, you know. But she would be like, that's not how a lady sits, you know, little things like that. And because I've been seeing that too around our African community, it's really made me as a parent want to teach my daughters better. I want to make sure that they grow up knowing that they're their own individuals, and that's not all you're good for. You're not good to just become someone's wife and someone's mother, you know. And I forgot where I learned this from, but I think it was like my woman's studies class a while ago, and we're just talking about how for girls, you're kind of when you are given birth to, you take on your father's last name.
Yes.
Okay? And once you take your father's last name and your mother prepares you to be a lady and all this, and then you become someone's girlfriend, you're kind of always known by, oh, that's John's girlfriend, that's Ken's girlfriend. And after that, you become someone's wife. And then you take someone else's last name. So if you look at those series and those patterns, you were never really your own person. You kind of always belonged to someone, or your name was never your own. It was always attached to something, someone,
Yeah.
And that's always bugged me. Like, what do you think about that? Is it true? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I feel like you can actually see that from a different perception, and it would be fine. I don't necessarily see it as being owned by somebody, because it's just numb. But okay, the part where I feel like it's not okay is if you attach me to a boyfriend. I feel like I'm my own person. I am still my father's daughter, and I still have my father's last name, so call me my father's child. Maybe when I get married, when my dad hands me over to another man, then there you can call me somebody's wife, But I am somebody's daughter, and I feel like you need a father figure in your life. God knew what he was doing, And I would really don't want to go deep into that, honestly. But we're so used to that. We're used to the fact that you're somebody's daughter. Do your daughterly duties, but your dad wouldn't force you to do things. He gave birth to you. He's gonna raise you, and he'll teach you to become a good person, not necessarily be somebody's wife. It's your choice if you ever want to become somebody's wife or not.
Right.
But with the guys, I do have a little problem with that, where you just raise a man to become a leader and never remember to raise a daughter to learn how to lead. With the African home, I don't know if this applies to it applies to almost every culture, not just African homes, where the man is the provider. Honestly, I would say that's how it has always been, and I think it's a good thing, and it should be like that. But men are not really raised to be emotional, to support the emotional aspect, the emotional growth, where the dad is sometimes absent because he has to make ends meet. And I understand he does the providing, he does the protecting, but we need his presence. We need fatherly presence sometimes. You want to have a conversation with your dad, like comfortable conversations, because that would help you with your male friends.
Right.
Honestly, I think it does help you with your male friends. And I would go back to African parents sometimes being unapproachable on certain topics, because it's just stiff. Like, nobody wants to talk about those things. They're sometimes really sensitive, And my dad and I, we had this gap. He's a provider, he's really absent and all of that. And I got older, and we tried to make a relationship. But honestly, at this point, I was the one who was hard-headed, because I was going to say, what are we going to talk about? We had all this gap, and we skipped all these years. And now, what are we going to talk about? Please. The only conversations we're having here is, are you fine? Are you okay? Do you need money? What's your tuition? Are you doing good in school?
Right.
And now we are trying to have conversations about other things. And I learned that it was actually it was okay to open up, because to create a change where there's an emotional balance and you can talk about emotional things, you have to be that change. And I feel like a lot of times kids already create a wall, because that wall honestly was there, but we just built it to be taller and higher and bigger, believing our parents were not there at that time and not listen to their own struggles. They're not perfect people, honestly.
Right.
And if they're not perfect and you think there's a problem, why not initiate the solution? You can't dwell on the problem and expect it to change. If your mom is really unapproachable with certain topics or sensitive topics, you know, throw it in as a joke. I know moms love jokes. You know, just test it out with a joke. If she takes it serious, let it slide.
Let it slide.
But if she doesn't, if she jokes about it, then you can actually bring it as a serious topic someday.
So do you think the lack of maybe little boys becoming men, having that lack of a father figure, and having that lack of getting their emotions properly nurtured, lead them to act out in such ways, such as, you know, molesting women, and raping women, and so on, and even abusing women, getting into domestic violence, and so on?
Honestly, I do think yes, because if you ever took any psychology class, and not just psychology classes, just generally, people don't naturally want to hurt other people. I don't think it's ever natural for you to want to hurt anybody. That's just what you know. Only a hurt person would go around hurting other people. And if you actually look at the statistics of rapists, they either had rape, or they either experienced rape, or they saw it happen and it was okay, you know. And there's an absence of the father figure in their lives most times, honestly. So men of the next generation, I'm advising you guys, men have the power to change a lot of things. And I do believe women do too, you know.
Right, of course.
But if we had men that would just sit down and listen, be more emotional, and
stand up.
It's okay to be vulnerable, guys. It's okay
to open up
and learn. You know, it's okay.
And you know, speaking on that, I've definitely seen people who have been molested, people who have been raped, you know, all these things get affected in so many different ways. Some women I've seen get into being super sexual. Yeah. You know, they kind of just become not only like a sex object to men, but they almost become like a sex symbol. Yeah. You know, and I've seen men even go into pornography. They get stuck and trapped into pornography. I've seen women who just grow so much anger, so much bitterness towards the towards the opposite gender, and just like completely stay away from them. They don't trust anybody, and like, so there's just so many different effects that can happen with such situations. And I think that's why it's just so important for us to even just be sitting here and having this conversation. We never had these conversations in our own personal homes. We've never talked about rape. We've never talked about being molested. We've never talked about even domestic abuse and domestic violence. We've never even talked about that. Like, what would happen if I was to get married tomorrow and my husband laid his hands on me? Would I be able to come home and my parents would take me back willingly? Or will they tell me to go back to my husband's house and fix it because I'm married to him, and because, you know, we took a vow and stood in front of the church? You know, these are conversations we've never had. We've never even had the conversation about sex or having safe sex and all these things. So I just think it's really important for us to even be sitting here right now in this moment and discussing this, you know?
That reminds me, I just remember the video that went viral. I don't know if this video was of African ape or someone else, and it was a boy masturbating, honestly. And that's another topic that a lot of people, not just cultured people, a lot of people never want to talk about. It's a big deal, you know. You know, and it was a video about a boy in his room, how an African parent would react if you were caught masturbating, you know. And African parents make me laugh. The dad brought this boy downstairs, beat him up, and was going to tell the whole family. Embarrassed him. And that's another reason why, I wouldn't lie, that's another reason why a lot of people don't open up to their parents. Because it's personal. It's something I want to talk about with you. I don't want you going out there telling within between parents, I'm not ready to tell the other parents. I don't think they understand that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready for my siblings to know about this. I think it's a thing of shame for me right now. Can I just confide in you? And that's one thing that barely ever happens in an African home. It's okay to, you know, we discuss about everything.
Right.
We talk about everything, but I feel like to a certain extent there should be closure.
I agree. I certainly agree. Yeah, but I think that's very important what you just shared, and just these things I've been seeing within my own community. It's made me realize the type of parent I want to be. Yeah. I want to make sure I establish a friendship with my children to a point where you can come to me and tell and confide in me, just like you said, and I'm going to keep it between us. I am not going to go and expose you to your father, and I'm not going to go and expose you to your siblings and things like that, you know?
You know, another thing is become a parent first. When you practice that, we can come back talk about that, you know, because this barely ever secret between parents. But I feel like even if there is not a secret, just make sure I don't know you told the other person.
I feel you, and it's just, I think it's also important for parents to just make sure that you're not only making sure that your kids are, you know, having a roof over their head and getting clothes on their back, like we're thankful for that, but also make sure you're checking on your kids' mental state. You don't know what's going on through your kid's head at the end of the day. Like, I can come home and lie to my parents whenever they ask me, how are you doing? Maybe I had a really rough day, or I've been having a really rough week.
Yeah.
But I'll lie to you and tell you, oh, I'm good. Because that's the response
you expect.
You always expect, and that's what you always hear. Therefore, I'm going to give you so you get off my back. Because we don't even have that, you know,
relationship.
That relationship for me to even tell you, oh yeah, mom, oh yeah, dad, this is what actually happened to me, you know?
Yeah. And
making sure you're also checking on how your kids are just doing emotionally.
Yes.
Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you angry? Are you frustrated? What's really tugging at your heart, you know? Little things like that honestly are very, very important in shaping someone to become who they turn out to be.
Very true.
And we honestly just wanted to bring awareness to what happens within the community, really, that things that people don't talk about. And for anybody going through this, like, please go ahead and get some help. Confide in even a friend who's gonna help you go talk to an adult. Yeah. You know, there's so many resources out there nowadays. You can even call like an anonymous phone line to just talk to someone. You know, if you want to keep it private, at least make sure you're getting help. You don't want this to destroy you. You don't want it to eat you alive. Like, for your own future's sake, go and get some help.
Yes.
You know, do you have anything to add on to that, or?
A problem shared is half solved, you know.
Right.
Talking to somebody makes you feel better. And if you have a secret about being raped, being molested, stuff like that, kill you. Trust me, they would kill you. You know, just little secrets kill you.
Right.
Confide in a friend, and please make sure that it's a good friend. If you can't confide in a friend because your friend might treat you fragile, confide in someone that is older. Confide in people that would actually pray for you, people that would take care of you emotionally.
Right.
You know, it's okay to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is really hard, you know, and it's okay. It's okay to talk to somebody. You never know what the person is going through too.
I agree. If you guys have any more questions or you're concerned about anything, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and leave my information down as well. You can go ahead and contact me, but we just hope you guys really get the help that you need, and just talk about it. Don't let it eat your life, and honestly, don't feel ashamed. Like, anything that happened to you was never your fault. It's never your fault. Just always remember that. Keep that at the back of your mind. I will be praying for you guys, and I love you guys so much. Just wish nothing but the best for you guys. Bye.
Sure.
No, I don't know why I just started laughing.
The way you look there, like you slap her.
What? No! I didn't mean it like that.
That's it. Why did you do that?
Okay, you guys are going.
Wait, let me put out my foot.
Okay.
would let me laugh. I don't
Okay.
care now.
What's so funny?
She's tired. You know she gets like that when she's tired.
Okay.